Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally doing Hourglass Liquid Blushes. These were the worst shipping experience from Sephora I've ever had. They're in stores and they got to me after I ordered, hold on. They released on the Sephora app 8 days ago and I stayed up and I checked out at 12:03 a.m. the day that they were released so that I could hopefully get them as quickly as possible. And then they shipped from across the country and UPS delayed my package, etc., etc. They got here way late. Sometimes from Sephora I get stuff in like 2 days. This time 8 days, too many days. So I'm a little late on the review is the point. However, they're here now. I'm here now. Let's get into it. I got 4 shades, everything in the orange to red category, and then one thing just to see. So this is the packaging. It's really different. I'm talking too loud, my cat's upset. So the cap twists off. I hope it's focusing on that, not me. And then there's a little dropper. This is the shade Scene, and we're just gonna go straight into swatches. So you truly need a drop. That's too much. So you need like less than a drop. So that was Scene. The next shade I'll swatch is Moment. Same size drop for comparison. And then Future. So these are a shake before every use type of product. So that's Future. And then the last shade I have is Imagine. So it's a pretty good variety of shades that I grabbed since this is the one that felt a little different for me, and then pretty normal, but this coral came off a little pinker, as you know, corals can kind of go both ways. This is a first impressions, which I feel a little less weird doing that for blush, but I just want to let you know that. I got a little acrylic palette, so now I don't have to necessarily use the back of my hand for everything. I'm very excited about this. As usual, we're gonna get down to blush swatches. I'm gonna put the little drop on my palette. The brush I'm gonna use is this KJH, Katie Jane Hughes #1 brush that comes with a highlight kit. That's because 1, I already have it, and 2, it actually looks really similar to the brush that Hourglass came out with for these blushes, so why not, I guess. First cheek swatch is gonna be Scene, which was that lighter pink color. That blended out really nicely. I don't think it really looks patchy at all. I used most of the drop. I probably could have used less for one cheek. Next shade I'm going to use is Future, which is that sort of pinkier coral, and I'm going to get a smaller drop. This is less product than on the first cheek. Figure we'll build up a little slower. Let's get a little bit more. It's funny, I thought this one went on pretty strong, pretty fast, and then this one I'm building up slowly, and I'm like, this is taking too long. But it's good, it shows you the versatility of the formula, so I'm not upset about that. All right, so this is Scene. And then this is Future. Definitely a little bit more warmth here. This is warm pink, but it's still lighter. This has more intensity. These also, by the way, the caps, like click shut. I'm gonna take these off, reapply my base makeup, and then we'll come back and do the last 2 shades. Only doing 4 shades of blush in a blush swatching video feels short. Last 2 shades. I did not powder my face today because these being a liquid, I thought that would be for the best. And now I'm thinking of it, and of course I should try them over powder, right? All right, I'm gonna use my NARS Soft Matte Perfecting Powder. I have this shade Sunshore, and I'm gonna powder one cheek. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna apply over powder on this side, and then I'm gonna apply powder over top on this side, just so we can kind of see. So let's go in with the shade Moment. I don't really think it changed anything about how that applied. It didn't disturb the foundation underneath. It ruined the mattifying properties of the powder pretty quick, but didn't really seem to pick up or get patchy or anything like that. That's a good sign. We like that. I love makeup that's versatile, so it kind of fits into however you do your makeup routine instead of requiring you to change your makeup routine. Last shade is Imagine, and that's the deepest one. I was a little worried that this one was gonna be really intense, but this is a very easy to wear red. I just posted my Armani blush video, which had the Armani liquids, and I have the red in that. And that red gets really intense really quickly. You have to be really careful if you want to wear it in a lighter way. This is super easy to wear in that same color family. Nice. I'm going to use the same NARS powder and powder over top of that. I think that looks great. It takes powder just fine. Look at that, these are nice. And I was really hoping, betting that they would be really nice, because Hourglass really doesn't release like a lot of new products very often. I don't think few releases is necessarily necessary for a release being a thoughtful release. But from Hourglass being a higher end brand and fewer releases, it just sort of felt like an intentional release. And then with that price point, you really hope that that release performs well. I'm just building up this shade because I want to see. I think it toned down the color with powder a little bit. That's fine. It's good to know. This is Moment with powder underneath, and this is Imagine with powder over top. And those are the 4 shades I have of the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blushes. They're definitely a true liquid, which I like. I think it's interesting that we're getting more liquids. I usually don't talk about product information as much because it's just not as important to me. I know price point is obviously a factor for people and size of product, but for me I have so much makeup that I know I'm never using something all the way up. The price impacts a decision, but it doesn't usually change my mind all that much. That's just who I am. So either way, it just doesn't really, I don't make decisions based on that. I make decisions based on if I'm excited about the formula and the product. But just for a little bit of comparison, because this looks like a very small component, and there's not a lot of like pure liquid blush, like watery liquidy blush These have 10.3 mils in them, and a NARS liquid blush has 15 mils. So, 50% more product in here. And then another comparison, just package size wise. So this is a Suku liquid blush. I think this was limited edition. And the Suku is 7.5 mils compared to the Hourglass 10.3. So I guess it kind of falls in the middle of what's out there. Again, there's not a ton out there. I suppose the Chanel liquids are technically liquid. These are 15 mil, the same as the NARS. Anyway, just a couple of real quick size comparisons because they do look small, but I think it's just a petite package. We're so visually susceptible to package dimensions changing a perception, but I like how small these are. I think that's a really convenient little size. And it looks like it's sort of a mid-range amount of product. Still kind of a high price point. I hope this was useful for you. If any of these shades are shades that you're interested picking up from the Hourglass line, what do you think of the finish? I will update if there's any longevity concerns. First impressions as far as blendability, colors, and finish. I love this finish. It might not be for everyone, but since it takes powder really easy, you can adapt that finish. I think application was super easy. So these are definitely a first impression impressive, and I'm excited to keep using them and see how I continue to feel. That's everything today. This was a short one. I hope it was still useful for you in making a purchasing decision. If it was, I really appreciate you liking, subscribing, commenting, any sort of interaction like that. I'm approaching 500 subscribers, which is incredible. So anyway, if you really like blush, I'll be here for you as long as blushes are here. So I am going to start doing other content soon. It's just that it's been like rapid fire, blush, 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 blush. And I really want to get on top of those. But I do have some other things that have been interesting and exciting. Some of it is also blush. It's just not new blush. So if that sounds good to you and you want to stick around, make sure to subscribe. Otherwise, interaction greatly appreciated. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a great day.